My husband used my credit card for a trip with his friends. I Iaughed because the card is actually the unplanned journey. Samantha had always prided herself on being the organized one. In her marriage to Mike, she was the planner, the one who kept track of everything from their finances to their weekend getaways. Mike, on the other hand, was the dreamer, always coming up with spontaneous ideas and living in the moment. It was one of the things she loved most about him, even if it occasionally led to some unexpected surprises. One Friday evening, after a long week at work, Samantha settled into her favorite spot on the couch, ready to unwind with a good book. The soft hum of the dishwasher in the background provided a comforting rhythm as she flipped through the pages. Just as she was getting lost in the story, her phone buzzed on the coffee table. She reached for it, expecting a casual text from a friend or maybe an update on a delivery she was waiting for. Instead, her eyes widened as she read the notification. $1,200 charge at Lakeview Resort and Spa. Her mind raced. She hadn't booked any trip, and she definitely hadn't authorized such a large expense. A sinking feeling settled in her stomach as she opened the banking app to verify the charge. Sure enough, the charge was from her credit card. Just as she was about to call the bank to report what she thought was fraud, a memory flickered in her mind. Earlier in the week, Mike had mentioned something about wanting to spend a weekend with his old college friends, but surely he would have mentioned it if he had gone ahead with the plan, right? Samantha's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the front door opening. Mike stepped in, a wide grin on his face, looking more relaxed than he had in weeks. He had clearly had a good time, and any irritation Samantha might have felt began to melt away at the sight of his happiness. "Hey, babe," Mike called out cheerfully as he dropped his bag by the door. "You won't believe the weekend I just had. It was amazing." Samantha raised an eyebrow, trying to keep her tone neutral. "Oh, really? Tell me about it." Mike launched into a detailed recount of his trip. "We stayed at this incredible resort by the lake. The views were breathtaking, the food was top-notch, and they even had a spa. It was exactly what I needed to recharge. The guys and I spent the days hiking and the evenings just chilling by the bonfire." Samantha listened patiently, but her mind was still on the credit card charge. Finally, she couldn't help but ask, "That sounds fantastic, but Mike, how exactly did you pay for all of this?" Mike's face suddenly turned serious as he scratched the back of his neck, a sure sign he was about to admit something he knew she wouldn't like. "Well, funny story about that. I couldn't find my wallet before we left, so I, borrowed your credit card. I figured we share everything, so it wouldn't be a big deal. You don't mind, do you?" Samantha stared at him for a moment, her expression unreadable. Mike, mistaking her silence for anger, quickly added, "I'll pay you back, of course. I just didn't want to miss out on the trip because of my own stupidity." And then, to his surprise, Samantha burst out laughing. Not just a chuckle, but full-on, tears in her eyes laughter. Mike watched her, bewildered, as she struggled to catch her breath. "Did I miss something?" Mike asked, his confusion growing by the second. Samantha finally calmed down enough to explain. "Mike, you didn't just use any credit card, you used the new rewards card I signed us up for last week, the one with the high cashback offer on travel and dining. I hadn't told you about it yet because I was waiting for the right time, but thanks to your little trip, you've just earned us a ton of rewards points." Mike blinked, taking in her words. "Wait, so I accidentally did something good?" "More than good," Samantha replied with a grin. "You've basically funded our next vacation with those points. But seriously, Mike, next time, just let me know before you take off with my card. I was about to call the bank to report it stolen." Mike laughed, relieved. "I promise, no more surprise charges. But hey, since we've got all these points now, how about we plan a getaway? Just the two of us this time?" Samantha's eyes softened at the suggestion. "You know what? That sounds like a perfect idea. We've both been working so hard, and a little break could do us good. How about somewhere warm and sunny?" "Deal," Mike said, wrapping his arms around her. "And this time, I'll make sure I bring my own wallet." The next few weeks were spent in happy anticipation as Samantha and Mike planned their much-needed vacation. They pored over travel brochures and websites, debating between a beachside resort in the Caribbean or a charming villa in Tuscany. Finally, they settled on a luxurious resort in the Maldives, a place they had always dreamed of visiting but never thought they could afford. As they boarded the plane for their trip, Samantha couldn't help but reflect on how things had turned out. What had started as a potential financial disaster had transformed into an opportunity for them to reconnect and share an unforgettable experience together. The Maldives were everything they had imagined and more. They spent their days lounging on pristine beaches, snorkeling in crystal-clear waters, and indulging in gourmet meals as they watched the sun set over the ocean. Every moment felt like a dream, a perfect escape from the stresses of everyday life. One evening, as they sat on the deck of their overwater bungalow watching the stars twinkle above them, Mike took Samantha's hand and said, "I know I can be a bit impulsive sometimes, and I'm really lucky to have you to keep me grounded. But I'm also glad you're willing to roll with the punches. This trip, it's been everything I hoped for and more." Samantha smiled, her heart full. "I guess it's a good balance, isn't it? You bring the spontaneity, and I bring the planning. Together we make it work." They clinked their glasses together, toasting to the unexpected twists that life had brought them. And as they sat there, surrounded by the beauty of the Maldives, they knew that whatever adventures lay ahead, they would face them together with laughter, love, and a little bit of spontaneity. Samantha and Mike are an unlikely pair, a careful planner and a spontaneous dreamer. When Mike takes an unannounced trip with his friends using Samantha's credit card without telling her, she's initially caught off guard, but instead of anger, the situation takes an unexpected turn when she realizes that Mike's impulsive decision has earned them a significant amount of rewards points on a new credit card she hadn't yet mentioned to him. What begins as a potential conflict turns into a heartwarming journey of love, trust, and the perfect blend of spontaneity and planning. Together, they turn an unexpected charge into the vacation of a lifetime, discovering that sometimes life's surprises can be the best adventures of all.